Good morning. Welcome to our Dharma family service. Very nice to have you here. We'd like to begin our service with Sutra chanting. And so for Sutra chanting, we'll be chanting Juseige. Namandam, 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 namandam. Kansho segan hishimu jodo shigan fumanzok seifu joshogak gao munyoko fuidai seshu Fusai shobingu seifu joshogak gashi jobutsudo myosho chojippo kukyo mishomon seifu joshogak ryokujin shonen Joe shubongyo shigumu jodo isho tenin shi jinniki endai ko fushomu saido shoujo sankumyo kosai shuyakunam Kaihichi egen meshi konmoan heisoku shoakudo tsudatsu zen shumon koso jomanzok iyoro jippo nichigatsu shujuki tenko onpugen Ishu kai hozo kose kudoku ho jo dai shuchu seppo shishiku kuyo isai butsu gusoku shutoku hon ganne shitsu joman tokui sangayo Nyobutsu mugechi tsudatsumi fusho gangaku erik toshi saisho som shiganyakoka daisen okando kokusho tenin Touchin myoke Namo Amida Butsu 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 Ganni Shikudoku Yodo sei sai do hoten bodai shin ojo Namandab, 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 namandab. Okay, next, let's recite the three treasures. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Okay, good morning once again. Wonderful to see you all here today. Today, I wanted to continue kind of this theme that has been going on ever since last year, Thanksgiving, and the idea of gratitude, right? And the gratitude season. And with our Home Go service a couple of weeks ago is when I usually kind of say, okay, why don't we have it extend to there? But this year I'm extending it all the way to the end of January. We're almost there. And so I'd like to talk today a little bit about let's see. Let me get my screen up here first. Then, you see that? Gratitude and mindfulness. Now, there's this famous picture. It's called the mirror portrait or the Kagami no Goe. Goe. And Kagami is mirror, right? And so this portrait should look familiar. Does it look kind of familiar? Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. See that? Do you know where you've seen it before? You saw it in the opening video. That's what's in our hallway. Right? When you come up the stairs, this is this big picture that we see. And that was actually done by a Dharma school class. I think there were 7th and 8th graders back in the 60s, right? And it's kind of a mosaic. So they each were given one tile to paint and then they put it all together and it came out great, huh? So this picture is based on this Kagami, this mirror portrait of Shinran Shoni. Now, the sketch, it's really more of a sketch, right? The original. It's hard to see the details, but the face is kind of lighter than the rest. And that's because the body, the robes and everything apparently are kind of drawn twice. Once they were drawn in that lighter pen stroke, and then they were darkened in by the artist. The artist is Sen Amida Butsu was his name. And apparently he was, his family were known as these kind of portrait artists. And so we don't see the face as well in the picture, but maybe that's because the face, I don't know, it's the other ones were kind of drawn more quickly, maybe those brush strokes. But it's supposed to be a really, really accurate image of Shinran Shoni, the founder of our school. And so this painting was actually later mounted by Kakunyo. So Kakunyo is Shinran Shonin's great-grandson who really turned Jodo Shinshu into a kind of an independent school. So he had this portrait and he mounted it as a scroll. It's interesting because I took a lot of this information from an article by James Dobbins called Portraits of Shinran in Medieval Pure Land Buddhism. And a lot of other schools, a portrait's a big deal. And so you wouldn't put up a sketch, right? A portrait of the founder of the school would be, professionally done and, that kind of thing. But Jodo Shinshu is different, right? Jodo Shinshu really, I think, almost celebrates the ordinary, celebrates the everyday, so that this this sketch really could become an image. So Kakunyo does this. And the reason I'm talking about it is because on the image itself, there's not just, this is kind of how the scroll would look, right? And it's not just the picture. There's also writing at the top. So let's see if I have it here. Yeah, so this is the writing. So that first line on the left says, Wacho Shinran Shonin Shin-e. So it says our founder, Shinran Shonin, the true image, Shin-e, true picture. So this mirror, the reason it's called the mirror is because it looks like he's Shinran looking in the mirror, right? It's so accurate. So Kakunyo here calls it this true image, this incredible image of Shinran Shonin. And then the next 4 lines are a poem, and they're from Shoshinge. So Kakunyo chose these stanzas, this stanza from Shoshinge, to also put on the picture. That's another Jodo Shinshu thing. Shinran Shonin would do that too. He'd have like the Myogo, Namo Amida Butsu. He would give that to people, but it would also have sutra passages or passages from the masters, or even from his own Shoshinge in his own writing too. So here, Kakunyo chose something from Shoshinge. Now, what it says is, Nagarjuna teaches that the moment one thinks on Amida's primal vow, one is naturally brought to enter the stage of the definitely settled. Solely saying the Tathagata's name constantly, one should respond with gratitude to the universal vow of great compassion. So this is from the collected works of Shinran translation, and it's from the Nagarjuna section, which I think is pretty cool. Nagarjuna had a pretty big impact on Shinran Shonin, and so I wanted to break it down. One of the issues here is nen, right? We know nen from like nembutsu, and it can be verbal, right? Nembutsu, saying Namo Amida Butsu, but it can also be mental, right? It can also be this idea of mindfulness. And so also we're going to find Ho-on in here. So remember Ho-on-ko, our service commemorating Shinran Shonin, where Ho means to respond or to repay, and On is benevolence. So let's look a little more closely at the passage itself. Let me make it a little bigger. So here's what the passage says. Okunen mida butsu hongam, jinen sokuji nyu hitsujo, yui no jo sho nyorai go oho daihi guze on. So if you know how Shoshinge goes in the normal way to chant it, is Okunen mida butsu hongan jinen sokuji nyu hitsujo yui no jo sho nyorai go oho daihi guze on. Right, that's from the Sofu way. The Gyofu way is similar, but it's a little different. I'll just do the first 2 lines. Okunen mida butsu hongam jinen sokuji nyu hitsujo. Right, so the Gyofu has that. I like that when you hold those, but you go up in pitch too. So, this is from Shoshinge, but Shoshinge is just so important. And what I've done here, oh, no, I got to back up here, then do it, and then zoom in again. So I tried to, I got to back up a little bit. So I've put in the English. So okunen is this mindfulness. It has nen, but the oku is from kyoku, memory. So okunen is this mental nen, this kind of mindfulness. Mindful of what, right? We hear about mindfulness all the time nowadays, right? It's so popular, but for Shinran, I think it's pretty specific. Mindfulness of Mida Butsu Hongam, Amida Buddha's primal vow, right? Hongan, like Honganji, the fundamental vows, original vows of Amida Buddha. So mindful of Amida Buddha's primal vow. Jinen. Jinen is a really important concept for Shinran too. It's spontaneous or natural, this naturalness, the Dharma manifests naturally. So jinen, spontaneously, and then sokuji. It got a little messed up. So sokuji is like instantly or at that time. Nyu should be for the next character. Nyu means just to enter. And then hitsujo, the stage of the truly settled. So I'll talk about this a little bit later, but that means it's settled. You will be born in the Pure Land when you die. Right? There's no worry after that. With the attainment of Shinjin, you're going to be born in the Pure Land. The last moments when you die have no impact. Right? So this stage of the truly settled. Yui no is only. Jo is always. Sho is to say, like shomyo nembutsu, sho, tonaeru. Nyorai is Tathagata, and then go is another character for name, myogo. So only, solely, and always, constantly saying Buddha's name, Namo Amida Butsu. And then this last line, o, means to you should or you must. Ho, this is the whole, like ho onko, respond, right? Or to repay. Daihi is great compassion. Guze is vow. Again, the tabs got kind of messed up, sorry. But guze is vow, and is benevolence. See, so that's the whole on, is this character here and on here. So that idea of whole on we can find here in Shoshinge. Right? But it's interesting, it's coming from the chapter on easy practice of Nagarjuna. So let's see if I go back a little bit and then down. Now the primal vow that it's talking about, right? Amida's primal vow, the Hongan. This is the paraphrase from Nagarjuna's text, and I like it because it's clear and it's interesting. So if anyone contemplates me, that's that mental kind of nen. So if anyone contemplates me, thinks on me, recites my name, and takes refuge in me, they will instantly enter the stage of assurance and subsequently attain the highest perfect awakening. So there's a lot in here, but I just wanted to present this as this idea of Amida's primal vow. So all you have to do, think about Amida, say the name, take refuge, which you do when you say Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha. That's what's so neat about this. This isn't in the sutra. This is this paraphrase from Nagarjuna, but all those ideas are there. Thinking on the Buddha, saying the Buddha's name, taking refuge in the Buddha. You'll instantly enter the stage of assurance, the stage of the truly settled, and subsequently attain highest perfect awakening. So, why Jodo Shinshu? Right? Why are we doing this? The kind of the big answers, I think, are to attain birth in the Pure Land and to attain Buddhahood, or that is enlightenment. Right? So those are kind of the lofty big answers. Why Jodo Shinshu, right? To attain birth in the Pure Land and to attain Buddhahood. But maybe there's another way we could think about it. There's this idea of settlement, right? The stage of the truly settled. And so this idea that, you will attain birth in the Pure Land. You will, absolutely. It's settled from Buddha's side. Right? So that maybe you don't have to worry about it so much anymore. But then there's another idea too of settlement, and that's this idea of the settled mind, anjin. So this anjin is shinjin, the entrusting mind. So shinjin is the core experience of Jodo Shinshu, this entrusting in the Buddha. But it also has this idea of settlement. And this came up in one of my classes, and I never thought about it. I usually think of it in a kind of doctrinal way. But this idea of feeling settled, right? The big issues are settled. What's going to happen when I die, right? That's one of the big issues of just humanity, right? What's going on here? What'll happen when I die? What happens to my loved ones when they die? And in Jodo Shinshu, we can kind of relax. Oh, I'll be born in the Pure Land. Oh, wow. It's not something I have to strive for and get it right every time. And if I get distracted at the moment of death, then what's going to happen to me then? No, relax, right? It's settled. It's already settled. It's just going to happen. And so this idea of settlement, it doesn't even have to be in terms of birth in the Pure Land. Maybe, right, we're kind of the samsara is wandering aimlessly. Right? Just wandering without any point in life or not sure what the point of life. Am I supposed to make lots of money? Am I supposed to have lots of stuff or lots of friends, or am I supposed to be popular? Or, what's the point of life? What's the meaning of life? And in Buddhism, it's walk the path, walk the Buddha way, right? So that we're not just stuck and mired in samsara, but all of a sudden, whoa, maybe I have some direction in life now, right? Maybe I'm starting to understand what life could be about. So I think in Jodo Shinshu, maybe that's part of what we get from it, this kind of idea of settlement. It doesn't, and it doesn't mean that all of a sudden everything's perfect and I'm not going to have any more problems, right? And that I'm just happy all the time. That's not what's being offered. We still live this difficult life, and yet not just stuck. Right? Now we have something more, right? Maybe we have more clear-cut goals in a way, but maybe even not. Maybe you can just relax a little bit and have this feeling of settlement. That isn't something that I can make. I can't be like, okay, I'm going to be all right. That doesn't work. But if it's coming from something bigger than me, right? Coming from the Buddha, coming from everyone around me, right? So that I can feel settled in this life. So, I talked also a little bit about, I said originally it was going to be a gratitude and mindfulness, right? And so there's also this idea of this kind of awareness of Buddha's vow, right? Awareness that Buddha's settling this for me, right? That I'm not alone. It's not something I have to just pull myself up by the bootstraps and do it myself. And it's me. No, right? That this is settled from Buddha's side, that this vow is made, that this is compassion. That's one aspect of Buddha's compassion, right? That Buddha's doing this for everyone, for me. So, I could go on and on and on. Shoshinge, it's hard. It's something where it doesn't mean necessarily anything until you study it. But when you do study it, like for me, it was so exciting to look at this picture. I found this last week for Dharma school, right? This picture, this amazing picture of Shinran Shoni, right? And wow, we kind of have one here at church in the hallway, right? Isn't that neat? I think it's really kind of amazing. No other temple has something like this in their hall, right? This incredible image. I think it was Dorothy Yanagi's husband was a Dharma school teacher, and he had the class make that. And so really this wonderful image that we can see Shinran Shonin in a few different ways. We also have our statue there in the front, right? So when we come to church, that's something you've been missing. Although I try to show it, right, in the Kansho video, right, that we can come to church and see Shinran Shonin. Wow, right? What an amazing teacher. I'm wearing my blue commemorative 750th memorial Shinran Shonin Wagesa, because Shinran Shonin means so much to me. It's just such an amazing kind of Buddhism. Another reason why Jodo Shinshu, so I can be myself, right? That I don't have to feel like I need to be something else. I need to be something, I'm not good enough, right? No, you can be yourself, right? And encounter the Dharma, right? You can be yourself and have this kind of settlement in your life. And so when I saw this picture, I found it in an art book that we have here. And then I saw the stuff at the top. I was like, wait a second, that's pretty cool. It's not just the picture. It's this poem at the top. And I can read that. I'm so lucky I can read it. Okunen mi da butsu hongam. Mindful of the primal vow of Amida Buddha. That's cool, right? That it's this kind of awareness or mindfulness, but of something really special, of this vow of the compassion of the Buddha. So it's not be grateful. You should try to be grateful. No, it's when I'm mindful of this vow, when I become aware of this compassion surrounding me, saying Amida Buddha's name, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, something happens. Ji nin sokuji nyu hitsujo, you instantly are spontaneously brought into the stage of the truly settled. This settlement becomes part of your life. Then what? We respond to the benevolence. We respond to that compassion, whether through Namo Amida Butsu or something how I live my life. Transformed by this great compassion of Amida Buddha. And we're aware of it because of the teachings of our founder, Shinran Shoni. So I want to thank you very much. Why don't we conclude? And I'd like to read this poem one more time. So let's conclude the Dharma talk with Kansho. Okunen mida butsu hongan, ji nen sokuji nyu hitsujo, yui no jo sho nyorai go, oho dai hi buzeon. Mindful of Amida Buddha's primal vow, one spontaneously and instantly enters the stage of the truly settled. Always saying the Tathagata's name, one responds to the benevolence of the vow of great compassion. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Oops. Okay, I'd like to turn it over now to Robert Noguchi for announcements.
Okay, thank you very much, Sensei. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everyone here today. Welcome to the Buddhist Church of Oakland. A few announcements from the Buddhist Church of Oakland. First, let's see, starting with, I mentioned this last week, no January in-person services for the rest of this month, which is today, and that's going to actually extend into the first part of February. And until some sort of decisions made, we're pretty much going to hold on this and doing the virtual services by Zoom like this, like we are today. The second announcement is the annual general meeting is next week, next Sunday, February 6th at 11 a.m. Following the Dharma family service at 10 a.m. We'll adjourn and then log in with a special link for members only for the general meeting, okay? Another thing I wanted to mention is the 31st annual crab feed from Juseige, actually crab feed to go. So basically a pickup between 1 and 4 p.m. at the Juseige offices in Emeryville. So that's happening on Sunday, February 22nd. See, going to the BCA website, Buddhist Churches of America, there's a couple of events happening over the next few weeks. This one called Buddhism Beyond Gratitude. Session 1 took place last week, and session 2 is scheduled for Friday, February 4th from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. And it's going to be the presenter Reverend Narayaki Hayashi at the Akoji Temple, which is in Virginia. And we're talking about our interconnectedness and Namo Amida Butsu. So that you could go ahead and register for Friday, February 4th. The next item is finding the antidote to greed, the first of the 3 poisons. That'll be happening next Saturday, February 5th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time with guest speakers Dr. Michael Conway and D.D. Just. The next item is the 2022 Eastern Buddhist League Conference, Staying Connected, featuring keynote speaker Reverend Dr. Takashi Miyagi of the Southern Alameda County Buddhist Church here in the Bay Area, but he's also the H.E. Kosho Otani Professor of Shin Buddhist Studies, professorial chair at the Institute of Buddhist Studies. That'll be happening on February 12th and 13th, 2022, and you can go ahead and register online for that. That's a free event. Coming back to the BCO, let's see. Oh, I guess I wanted to mention that you can donate. Something I haven't been mentioning, but we would appreciate any donations made. There's a number of different ways, as you can see from the website, and I believe Carlos is going to put the link in the chat box. So if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way too. But you could do just a regular Osai Sen for Sunday services, for the Shotsuki services that we have, and general donations and special services. We have this button up here. So if you have any questions, please contact the church or take a look at the website. And I guess for that, I'd like to thank everyone for being here and attending and your donations to the church. Thank you so much. Great day. And I'll turn it back over to Sensei.
Thank you, Robert. This will conclude our service, And we are very happy that you're able to join us today. So why don't we conclude once again, reciting the name of the Buddha, the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody on YouTube. Take care.